Hello and welcome back to our weekly Torah Portion. I'm Sondra Baras, and today we're going to be studying Deuteronomy 32, the Torah portion called Ha'azinu, which is based on the first word of the portion, and it means listen. And the entire portion, or the vast majority of it, is a poem. We have been studying many of Moses' final words to the nation in a series of speeches throughout the book of Deuteronomy. This is a very special one because this is not prose, this is a poem, and as is the nature of many poems, we are involved in symbolism, interpretation, words and phrases that can mean different things. It's a much more difficult chapter to understand. So what I like to do is just go through it. Not every single word, but let's just come out at the end of today's lesson with a better understanding of what it is this chapter is all about. So first of all, he begins, give ear, listen, you heavens, and I will speak. Hear, O earth, the words of my mouth, a great declarative statement. And we begins these first four verses with praise to God. Because I will call the name of the Lord, ascribe you greatness to our God, the rock, his doing is perfect, for all his ways of our judgment, a God of faithfulness and without iniquity, righteous and upright is he. This is how we begin, setting the stage for what is it that is going to befall the nation of Israel. What is the relationship between God and the nation of Israel? This is the subject of this poem. And Moses begins by praising God and reminding the nation of how powerful, of how just, of how rock solid God is. And therefore, as he then moves on to talk about the sin of the nation of Israel, the sin that he predicts, that he knows will happen, it is of course set against this standard of perfection that he has set up in praising God. We go on to verse 5. The corruption is not his, it is that of his children, a perverse and crooked generation. Here we have a situation where the nation of Israel sinned, and what Moses is saying is you can't blame God for the sins of the children. The sins of the children belong to the children. It is not God's fault, so to speak. And then he turns to the nation and he says, is this how you treat God? Is this a wise nation? A wise nation who doesn't even recognize the need to respond, to respect your Father, your Creator? And then he turns back in verse 7. Remember the days of old. Study the years of every generation. Ask your father and he will tell you, your elders and they will tell you. This verse is very often used, and rightly so, as setting forth a very important rule, a very important concept, the obligation that we all have to learn from history. And here it's not just history in the sense of what you read in the history books, but you have this concept of ask your father, ask your elders. Here there's a history that has been passed down as an oral tradition. In the case of the nation standing before him, ask your fathers, or you must have heard the stories of the Exodus from Egypt. Understand what God is and what he has done for you. But this is a verse that also resonates forever, because even in our generation and every generation, if we want to understand who God is, first and foremost, we need to have this tradition that is passed down to us through the ages, as father tells son, as mother tells daughter, and that is how we understand not only the history of our nation, but how God behaves through the world.
To watch this program in its entirety, go to www.glc.us.com or simply click the link below.